Hey everybody, welcome to SwJ. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, working on one of my pairs of 20-plus-year-old jeans, doing a thigh patch. There had been a split all the way across, so we're doing a seam, or a new piece of under patch all the way across. And we're going to be talking about improving our future in a few different ways. And yeah, we'll get our first stitch in, get into it, and then we'll talk about getting kids to university and helping them succeed. There's a program in Chicago that I think is really awesome. They announced it recently and surprised a number of groups of children, and all this to the tune of 4,000 low-income students received full university scholarships, including their residence and all that stuff. Full free ride for low-income students in Chicago. They got their choice of 20 different educational institutions that they could go to in order to get their post-secondary education, and it's all free. There's a program called Hope Chicago, and they are doing some amazing things, trying to get people who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to go to university, letting them go and hopefully improving their lives, getting them out of the system, because it seems that so much of a person's future is determined by where they were born. Now, they are pretty ambitious, and they are on target to reach their goal. So sometimes ambition becomes reality, and in this case they are aiming for a total of $1 billion to be raised over 10 years. And they're trying to just get the kids to finish going to college. As it sits, people with similar income, similar areas, they are getting about 63% of the students enrolling in post-secondary, which is a higher number than I thought it would be, but now it's going to be probably much higher than that. The only problem is only about 27% of those who start finish. And as someone who went to university and did not finish and ended up coming out of it with all debt and no payoff, I can completely understand where that would be difficult. In my situation, would more money have made a difference? Doubtful. Mine was more based around personal issues that I was having at that time that I had to drop out. So yeah, 27% finish rate is not all that good. And if they don't have to worry about working stupid jobs that don't pay them well, and they can just go and learn and blossom and be in that environment, I think the world would be a much better place. Like all the places around the world that have free post-secondary education, how much better off are they? You know what I mean? Like, people can pursue their dreams. They can get the pieces of paper that allow them to pursue their dreams, rather than getting stuck in some dead-end job where they can't escape from. You know, if you don't get them in that trap, if you get them that little bit of a start, it'll pay off huge dividends in the future. Will some people take advantage of it and not do anything? I'm sure. But that's on them. And then they cannot say that they didn't have the opportunity. So moving on to another way that we're trying to improve our planet. And this time, it's all about stats today. It seems it's all percentages today. But there was a survey done across people across 28 countries, and they were asked whether they were in favor of a complete ban on single-use plastics or not. And all the way across the board, the average of all 28 countries, 75% of people are in favor across the board of completely banning single-use plastic products. Now, some interesting numbers to go along with this. The country with the highest percentage of people who wanted to completely ban single-use plastics was Colombia. And they came in at 89%. 89% of the population of the people polled in Colombia want a complete and total ban on single-use plastics. Now, the lowest country, lowest percentage of all those countries that wanted to ban single-use plastics was, and this really and truly surprised me, it was Japan. And then I thought about it a little bit, and it's probably because Japan doesn't have that big of a problem because it's a very clean country. You know, they don't have all these single-use plastics going everywhere. They probably have much better recycling programs than most other places. And I guess I think very highly of Japan, and so they only 37% of them wanted to ban single-use plastics. Now, bringing up the mid road. If you are most of my viewers are either Canadian or American. If you are Canadian, let's go with Canada first here. 66% of people want to ban single-use plastics. 66. That's, you know, 2 for 3. 2 for 3. That's not bad. And in the States, coming in above China, or sorry, above Japan. I didn't catch the numbers for China. Coming in above Japan at 55%. So that's a pretty good start. Over half of the people in America want to completely ban single-use plastics. And it sounds like, you know, countries are moving that way. There's a lot of pressure being put on countries to go carbon neutral, and there's a lot of programs coming into place that are aiming for that. And if we can keep progressing as a society, then maybe that'll become a reality sometime. I think one thing that would go a long ways to improving plastic use is to make plastics that are more recyclable. How can I say this? More friendly to the recycling process. You know, like have the cap and the main bottle made of the same type of plastic, so that you can just throw it all in together. Don't have labels, or have labels that come off easily, or are made of the same plastic and can all be recycled. Just, you know, when you take a Gatorade bottle and you have to tear it apart before you put it in the recycle bin, that seems very silly to me. Um, it's absolutely worth doing so that they don't just throw everything away. But if they could make plastics that are more conducive to recycling, and won't just arrive at the recycling depot and immediately get thrown out. I think that would be a big progress for plastics. It's just there's so many plastics that are just the single use, just made to be used once and thrown away. I think society's moving away from that. The straw movement, the anti-plastic straw movement was very strong there. We have a set of metal straws, stainless steel straws now. That's cool. Don't use straws very often, but when we do, then we don't have to throw them out, and they don't have to end up in turtle noses. Because that's one of the more popular places I've seen that they end up out in the ocean. And stuff like buying beverages in concentrate form. That's one thing that I really think would be a big movement for beverage companies, is to go back to the dry beverages, because with all the pops and stuff out there, that you're just basically transporting water, and if you can make a product that is good in other people's water, then I think you've got a winner. Or stuff like the little squeezable packets where you just pour a glass of water, squeeze a little bit of the flavoring into it. I think that's more the way to go, because you're using a lot less plastic. And that wouldn't be considered a single-use plastic then. I wouldn't think, because you're using it multiple times. You are just filling it and emptying it once, though. So that'd be an interesting one. See how they actually define a single-use plastic. I think I will call that an episode. Ran out of talking bits to do. So we will pick this up next episode. Got a little chunk done today. Making some good progress. Sewing takes time, man. That's the one thing you gotta remember. Like, that was however long it's been, 14 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes, and you get that little bit done. So it's all good. It's worth it. It just takes time. So thanks so much for joining me. I do really value the time we get to spend together. And till next time, keep chillin'. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.